Hello, welcome to our first webinar in our Customer Success series. Today we will be focused on our New Jersey customers. Kristen Durr is our DRTRS specialist, and she will be going through the ins and outs of the state reporting in BusBoss. We welcome you to send over your questions in the chat box on the right, and we will be getting to as many as possible after the presentation. So now I'm going to hand it over to Kristen, and enjoy.
Welcome. In today's webinar, we will be discussing how to complete the New Jersey State Report, the DRTRS. We will be going over how to save to history, how to find and fix errors, and how to create the route and student files to submit to the Department of Education. Before completing your DRTRS, you need to save to history. When you save to history, you are creating a snapshot of your current routing information. Your students' stop assignments and routes with students assigned will be saved. To save to history, first click on Tools, and then go to Save to History. Next, click on Add History Date. We want to select October 15th and click OK. BusBoss first will check for any problems with your current routing data, such as duplicate stops or disconnected paths. If any problems are displayed, click Cancel and correct the problems before continuing. If no problems are displayed, click on Process. We will then select the correct day of the week. This year, October 15th is a Thursday, and we will click OK. We've now saved a snapshot of our routing information for the DRTRS. Next, we need to import New Jersey's district, county, and school codes for 2015. Orbit software will provide an access database of this year's valid school, district, and county codes. The database can be downloaded from support.busboss.com. These codes must be imported so that they can be used to validate the school, district, and county codes that are in BusBoss. To import this year's codes, we click on Report, go down to State Report. Then we go to New Jersey and click on Import Data. I will select the Access database that was downloaded from Orbit Software's support website, and I will click OK. And now the updated codes are being imported. Next, we will look at the Smart Route dashboard. This will help us identify any errors in the data before submitting the DRTRS. To access the dashboard, click on Help, and then click on Smart Route Dashboard. On the top right, under Group to Display, make sure we select New Jersey DRTRS. To fix any errors here, click on Suggestions. I'm going to go over some of the errors that are shown here and how to fix them. Starting with bus information. All buses must have a valid license plate and a vehicle ownership code. Also, all buses must have a seating capacity of less than 54. So under bus information, we see that only 90% of our buses have complete information for the DRTRS. I'm going to click on Suggestions. All of our buses have a vehicle ownership code, and they all have a valid license plate. However, one of our buses has an invalid seating capacity. I'm going to click on Fix Item. Here it lists the bus that has the invalid seating capacity. I'm going to click OK. And under Equipment, I see the seating capacity is 67. The DRTRS does not allow a capacity greater than 54, so I will change this to 54. Close the bus. and go back to the dashboard. Now we see our bus information is 100% complete. Next, under route, all of our routes must have a route cost and a unique route code. There cannot be any duplicate route code license plate combinations. When entering a route cost, enter the yearly cost of the route in the pickup only. All drop-off and kindergarten routes need a cost of only $1. I'm going to click on Suggestions under Route. All of our routes have a cost. However, 2 of them have an invalid license plate and route code combination. When I click on Fix Item, it lists the 2 routes that have problems with the route code. So the route code assigned to this route, BL-AM, is also assigned to another route. Because each route needs a unique route code, I'm going to change this to BL-AM2. And now I go back to the Smart Route dashboard and I see our routes with errors is down to 1. We have 1 route with an invalid route code. I will change B-AM to B-AM2. And now our route information is 100% complete. Our next error is under School DRTRS. All schools must have a valid school, district, and county code. BusBoss is comparing the school, district, and county codes to the codes that were imported when we imported New Jersey data. I'm going to click on Suggestions. We see that we have 1 school with a missing or invalid school code. The correct school codes can be found on the New Jersey Department of Education website. It's located at education.state.nj.us/directory. I'm going to click on Fix Item, and we see that Beck Middle School is the school that is missing a school code. From the New Jersey Department of Education website, I know that the school code for this school is 073. I'm going to type that in here, and I will close the school to save the information. Now back on the Smart Route dashboard, we see that all of our school information is valid. Under Second School, if a student is assigned to a second school, such as a VOTEC, they must have Student Attends Half-Day Program checked in the Second School tab of their Maintain Student screen. Also, they must be assigned to a second school route. The second school route must have both schools on it, and the schools must be in the correct order. Under Student, all students must have a birth date. All students also must have a school assigned, and any public school students must have a 10-digit state ID. I clicked on Suggestions. We see that all of our students have a date of birth and they all have a school assigned. However, one of our public school students has an invalid state ID number. I will click on Fix Item, which opens the student screen. Under Individual here, we see the state ID is missing. I will click on the box to the right and I will enter the student's 10-digit state ID. Close the student to save the information. And we see now on the Smart Route dashboard that all of our student information is valid. Our next item is Student Walk. All students must have a walk to school distance. I will click on suggestions, and I see there is one student who does not have their walk to school distance set. I can click on Fix Item to open the student. And under Transportation 2, we see that walk to school distance is blank. For this student, I will click Calculate. That will automatically calculate the walk to school distance for this student. If the walk to school distance does not calculate, first you want to go up to Address and check that their address is located. This can be done by clicking on the yellow arrow where it says Go to House. Something else to check, if the walk to school distance cannot be calculated, you want to check that the school is located as well. Back on the Smart Route dashboard now, we see that all of our students have a valid walk to school distance. Our next item is valid grades. All students must have a valid grade. In BusBoss, we allow grades such as KA for kindergarten AM, KP for kindergarten PM, or KF for kindergarten full day. We also have PA, PP, or PF for preschool students. These grades are not valid for the state of New Jersey. However, we will automatically convert them to valid grades for the DRTRS. I clicked on Suggestion and I see I have one student without a valid grade. I will click on Fix Item. And on the left here, I will click on Individual. This student has a grade of 13. 13 is not a valid grade for the DRTRS, so I will change this to 12. Now we see that all of our students have a valid grade. There's one more item that we do need to check before submitting the DRTRS. We need to check that all our vendors have valid New Jersey vendor codes. By default, vendor code errors are not shown on the Smart Route dashboard. However, we can configure the Smart Route dashboard to show vendor code errors by clicking on Configure Dashboard here on the top right corner. When the Configure Dashboard screen comes up, click on Groups, and under Groups, select New Jersey DRTRS. I will scroll down to the bottom and I will check vendor codes. However, it's important to note that the Smart Route dashboard only shows 8 items at a time. Because we have 9 items selected here, we will need to unselect one of these items. I'm going to uncheck second school students. I will close the Configure Dashboard screen. I will go back to the Smart Route dashboard, and now I see my vendor codes in the bottom right. Only 75% of our vendors have a valid code. I will click on Suggestions. There's one vendor with an invalid vendor code. I'm going to click on Fix Item, and this lists the vendor. I will click OK. I know from the Department of Education website that this county code is supposed to be 07. I changed the county code to 07 and I will close the vendor. Now back at the Smart Route dashboard, we see that all of our contractors have valid codes. Looks like we're ready to create the files for the DRTRS. There are 2 files we're going to be creating. We're going to be creating one for our routes and one for our students. To create the route file, click on Report, then State, New Jersey, and then Route. When the route file appears, click on File and then Load Bus Boss Data. We have two options here. We have Use Current and Use History. Earlier, we saved a history date. We saved a snapshot of our routing information for October 15th. Therefore, I clicked on Use History and I'm selecting October 15th. I will click OK. It's going to ask which schools you would like. I'm going to select all and hit OK. For resident county, you need to enter the county code of your district. I'm going to enter 07. For resident district, you need to enter the district code of your district. Now your route information will populate the spreadsheet. There's one column to note here. On the far right, you will see host route. If the cost of a route is shared with other districts and you are the host, please select how many districts share the cost because this information is not stored in BusBoss. For more information about host routes, you can look at the DRTRS manual on the Department of Education website. We did fix all errors through the dashboard, so it's unlikely that you will have any errors here. However, I'm going to click on File, then Validate Data to check one last time. If I find any errors, I will fix them. Then I will go to File and Save. I will select a location to save my file, and I will call it Route. This is the first of the two files that will be uploaded to the Department of Education. The second of the two files is the student file. The process for creating the student file is very similar. Click on Report, then State Report. Go to New Jersey, and then Student. When the student file screen appears, click on File, then Load BusBoss Data. Again, I will click on Use History. I will select the history date that we saved for October 15th, and I will click OK. Again, you will select all of your schools and click OK. I would like to discuss a few of the columns in the student file. The resident county column is the county where the student lives. If the values are missing or invalid, close the student file, click on Maintain, and then Lookup Table. I'm going to close the student file now and show you how to correct invalid or missing county codes. I'm going to Maintain, I'm going to Lookup Table. On the left, I will select county codes. These are the lists of all the counties in my database. I can select a county, hit Edit, and put in the valid county code here. I'm going to close this screen now, and I will go back to the student file. The resident district column is the district where the student lives. The district code of the student's school will be displayed here unless there's another district specified in the Maintain Student screen. This screen functions like an Excel spreadsheet. If you need to, you can double-click in a cell and change one of the values if it's invalid. If you have a lot of students with missing or invalid resident district codes, student district codes can be imported through the Import Students tool. Again, it's unlikely that there will be any errors, but just in case, I'm going to click on File. After I fix any errors, I will go to File and Save. I'm saving this file on my desktop and I will call it Student. That was the second of the 2 files to be submitted for the DRTRS. To upload those 2 files to the Department of Education or for more information about the DRTRS, visit education.state.nj.us/DRTRS1516. This concludes the presentation portion of this webinar. I will now open it up and address any questions.